All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy Akeem from the Football Source, here to talk about Week 12 of the 2014 college football season. I'm here to give you a preview of this week's key matches. Now, I'm going to start off with tonight's game between East Carolina at Cincinnati. This is going to be a good American Conference game for you guys to look at. Both these two teams are 3-1, looking to stay alive and win the conference championship outright. Now, for this matchup, East Carolina actually lost last week to Temple due to a great job on the defensive side from the Owls. While Cincinnati has been looking okay, they're actually doing terrible on the defensive side, averaging 29 points per game. Now, for the last 3 weeks for the Bearcats, they won impressively, but they didn't really play against some good offenses. And I think that Shane Carter and the Pirates are going to have a good game at Cincinnati, so I'm going to have to go with East Carolina over Cincinnati. Next game, the Ohio State Buckeyes, 8th ranked team in the nation, is going to be traveling to face number 25 Minnesota. Now, this is a good Golden Gopher team who are 7-2 overall, and they can pull off the upset. They're going to have to do a good job running the football in this game. But due to the Buckeyes' great performance at East Lansing, beating Michigan State, I have to go with the Buckeyes in this one. They are on a mission to win a Big Ten championship. Next game, an ACC game between number 19 Clemson at number 22 Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is known for running the football effectively, while Clemson's been having a pretty good season, despite with 2 losses and their Week 1 loss against Georgia and against Florida State, in which they kept the game close at Tallahassee. I'm going to have to go with the Tigers over the Yellow Jackets. The Tigers are actually trying to look to stay alive in the Atlantic Division, but they are going to need Florida State to lose the next 2 games of their season in the ACC Conference. Next game, sticking in the ACC, Virginia Tech's going to be traveling to face number 21 Duke. Duke is actually in the league in the Coastal Division of the ACC Conference. They have 3 games remaining in ACC play this season, and I think they're going to start off with another win over Virginia Tech due to the poor offensive play from the Hokies. Next game, headed over to the Pac-12 Conference. 6-4 Washington is going to be traveling to face number 14 Arizona. Now, between these two teams, I like Washington's defense, but Arizona's offense should be a little bit too much for them. And on the offensive side for Washington, they're not really crisp like Arizona, so I'm going to have to go with the Wildcats over the Huskies. Next game was a nominee for my game of the week, but I decided not to go with this game as the game of the week. But this is going to be a big-time championship matchup for the West Division of the Big Ten Conference. Number 16 Nebraska against number 20 Wisconsin. The game's going to be played at Wisconsin, so the Badgers do have the home field advantage. And this is going to be a good battle between 2 great running backs, Amir Abdullah from the Cornhuskers and Melvin Gordon from Wisconsin. Now, for Amir Abdullah, he was out a little bit on the last game against Purdue due to an injury, but he should be ready to play for this Saturday's matchup. Now, for Wisconsin, they're mainly known for running the football, and they can completely depend on running the football. But for this matchup, Nebraska is going to focus on stopping the run and forcing quarterbacks Tanner McElroy and Joel Stavey to throw the football effectively. Between these 2 quarterbacks, they actually combined for 10 touchdowns and 10 interceptions this season, and I think that the Cornhuskers should put the pressure towards at the quarterback position and focus more on stopping the run and stopping Melvin Gordon. And because of that, and because they have a better balanced offense than Wisconsin, I'm gonna have to go with the Cornhuskers to pull off the road victory. Next game, headed back to the Pac-12 Conference. Number 23 Utah is going to be traveling to Stanford to face the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals been having a rough season, many losses this year, and I have to go with the Utah Utes in this game. They have a great defense like Stanford, but I think they have just a little bit better of an offense and a better fight of a team than Stanford, so I'm going to have to go with the Utes in this matchup. Headed over to the SEC Conference, number 9 Auburn is going to be placing number 15 Georgia. Now, Auburn lost last week in a big upset loss to Texas A&M, and they're looking to shake things up in the SEC Conference with the remainder of the schedule and ruin the seasons for both Georgia and Alabama. I'm going to have to go with the Tigers in this one, mainly because Georgia is not capable of throwing the football effectively, and I think that the Auburn defense is going to focus more on stopping stopping the run and Georgia's ground attack, despite the fact that star running back Todd Gurley is going to be suiting up for this weekend's matchup. But I'm still going to go with Auburn in this game. Sticking in the SEC, headed over more towards the Eastern Division, but they do have it's an East and West opponent between Missouri and number 24 Texas A&M. This is going to be an important and very important matchup for the Missouri Tigers. They're playing in a tough environment at College Station, and they only have 2 losses this season. They lost to Indiana a couple earlier in the season, and then they also lost to, I believe it was Georgia. They lost to Georgia due to the ground attacks for both of these two teams. Tevin Coleman out of Indiana had a great game against Missouri, and that's why Missouri lost that matchup, and Nick Chubbs led the ground attack for Georgia. Even if you date back from last season in the SEC Championship, Auburn ran all over the Tigers, and for Texas A&M, they're more of a spread offense and throwing the football. Kyle Allen had a great game last week in the upset over Auburn, but I think that Missouri's defense is going to do a great job in stopping the pass and forcing Texas A&M to try to run the football effectively. That is the main reason why Mizzou has lost a couple of key matches this season and even in the SEC Championship due to the rushing attack of their opponents. But Texas A&M is used more for throwing the football. Despite the fact that Kyle Allen had a great game against Auburn, I'm going to have to go with the pass rushers led by Shane Ray of the SEC. Shane Ray is actually 4th in the nation with 12 sacks this season. I'm going to stick with the Tigers in this one because they have so much at stake in this matchup. Next game, this is a big game for my Texas Longhorns playing at Oklahoma State. Texas is actually looking to become bowl eligible, and they only have 2 games left. They're 5-5 in the season, and in their last game, they faced TCU. Not really happy about that matchup. They most likely will lose against TCU, so they must win against Oklahoma State, and I'm going to have to go with my Longhorns over the Cowboys to become bowl eligible. Headed back to the ACC, number 3 Florida State. It's going to be playing at Miami. This is a great in-state rivalry, and Miami is capable of pulling the upset. But I'm going to have to go with the Noles in this one, mainly because of their defense, much better than Miami. So I have to go with Noles over the Hurricanes. Next game, a Big Ten matchup between number 12 Michigan State at Maryland. Maryland can pull off the upset, but they're going to have to play without star receiver Stephon Diggs because of his actions in the previous game against Penn State at halftime, at the coin toss at the end of the game, and he is actually suspended for this matchup. This should be an easy win for Michigan State, losing against Ohio State last week, and they're trying to bounce back. And last game, Arizona State is going to be traveling to Oregon State. Now, Oregon State quarterback Sean Mannion is actually having a disappointing senior season. 10 touchdown passes and just 6 interceptions. And he was actually one of my QB prospects for the 2015 NFL Draft. And Arizona State is on a mission leading the South Division of the Pac-12 Conference, trying to win out the remainder of the year and make it to the Pac-12 Championship, in which I believe they definitely should play Oregon for that Pac-12 title. And in this game, staying alive at number 6 overall this season, I'm going to have to go with the Sun Devils over the Beavers in this matchup. Now, I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow to talk about my game of the week. Number 1, Mississippi State at number 5, Alabama. I'm going to give you the keys to victory as well as my prediction for this Saturday's game of the week. Thank you for watching today's blog from the Football Source. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.